Okay. Tu tawa mai I runga. Tu tawa mai I raro. Tu tawa mai I waho. Tu tawa mai I roto. Kia tau ai te Māori tū, te Māori ora ki te katoa, haumie, huie, taikie. Ko George, taku wingoa, ke tamaki makoto taku kāinga, ko au te Science Engagement Manager I NeSI. Tēnā tātou katoa. I'm George, I'm Science Engagement Manager here at NeSI, and I'm kicking off this webinar today with the aim of providing you all with an update on what's been happening with our platform refresh. First of all, it's always nice to know who's in the audience. So I'm going to take you over here to a Slido. So if everyone could go on and into Slido, there's the code, or use the QR code, and we're keen to understand what's your role in your organization. So are you a researcher? Perhaps you're supporting research as a e-research or HPC practitioner. Maybe you're a manager or a leader in your organization. So perhaps not on the tools. So keen to understand who's in the room. I love these real-time polls. It looks like our e-research practitioners might be in the lead for now. So go on, managers, go on, researchers. See if you can win. Oh no, I cursed it. All right, it looks like we've got a good variety though. So thanks for indulging me there. It's nice to know that there's a good variety of people on the call, and we can make sure that we respond accordingly. Right, go back in here. Okay, so for anyone in the crowd who's not familiar with NeSI, a quick reminder of who we are. So our origins are as a grassroots community. We've come from within research. We are builders, makers, designers. So we're designing and building high-performance computing and data platforms. We aim to always be innovating alongside you guys and pushing the boundaries of tech. And I guess key to all of this, our drivers are things like scalability, performance, and friendliness. So making sure that things are easy to use, and we're partnering and collaborating to make those things happen. We work alongside researchers, and if you have one of the NeSI t-shirts or you've seen them around, we are the power behind research and researchers. Most of the team have backgrounds in research. Many of us have been active as postgrad or early career researchers. And so what that means is we've got a deep and broad appreciation of how research is done. How do you undertake research, particularly in a digital setting? And so alongside researchers who are the experts in their area, in their domain, we're the experts in advanced computing and storage and scientific software, tools, pipelines. So that's a little bit about us and where we come from. Now, a big part of this platform refresh is establishing our future home for these platforms in Tamaki Makaurau. So this was one of our original homes earlier in NeSI, and over the last few years, we've been working and investing to establish a new scalable core platform. So this is our research cloud. You may have heard us talk about it already, flexible HPC. So what does that mean? It's flexible in allowing us to reconfigure how it operates and what we can build with it. So we've run a few innovative projects in this new environment already. So we've built some strong partnerships, often outside of our core investors even, with groups like Strong AI Lab to look after their advanced GPUs for AI. This is where we've partnered with Ag Research on their enterprise e-research platform. And this is where we spin up things like our Rakeora genomic precision medicine platform. So I guess most importantly, after all of those, that partnership, that testing, that experimenting, that innovating, we feel that we've developed Flexi to be a secure, scalable, and flexible research cloud. So it's really ready to host the next phase of NeSI's HPC investment. And I do want to call out, we could go into a lot of things here, right beyond the core platform refresh. There's lots we want to talk about around how we work with research teams and partners and platforms. But today, we really want to focus into the integration of our current and new infrastructure and the value this renewed platform will offer researchers. Now, change can unsettle, but we want to make it clear that we're keeping those things that researchers know and love. So we know that there's a large array of managed scientific software applications and databases that are really valuable for research. We keep those. There's really comprehensive documentation to help researchers get started or navigate doing new things on the platform. We're going to have that. We'll still have batch queue. We're going to make sure there's training and onboarding. So these things don't go. What we're going to talk about in the next part of the presentation is really around what's new and what is different. So with those learnings to date and sort of recognizing the changing digital environment for doing research, including things like what's happening with global tech and cloud companies, this refresh really provides us an opportunity to evolve our services. And it's at this point that I'll hand over to Nick. He's going to take us through some of those new services and the opportunities that they provide for researchers and the research community.
Kia ora, thanks, George. It's really wonderful to hear about. So, kia ora koutou, ko Nick Jones ahu. No tūranga nui a kiwa tōku kāinga whānau, Ngāti Kahungunu ki Wairoa tōku iwi. Ko o Kai Whakahaere, Director of NeSI, New Zealand Science Infrastructure. Kia ora e te whānau, I'm Nick Jones. Really nice to see you all here today. Really wonderful. See so many familiar faces. Good to have your curiosity and your interest. We'll see what we can do to satisfy it. It's quite a brief presentation and then time for Q&A afterwards. And really we're just going to move into the next part of it where we talk about the new things that are coming. We are talking about primarily the replacement for some of our core infrastructure, commonly known as Mahuika, affectionately known as Mahuika. We're not talking about the replacement program that NIWA are running around the Maui platform. And so that'll be for them to come out on in due course. So let me jump into the next set of slides. So George talked about that, magnificent catalogue of hundreds of scientific software applications that the team manage for researchers around the country across all sorts of disciplines. And we're adding a rich catalogue of interactive apps and tools. So we're replacing our current Jupyter service with one that is much more flexible and extensible. So we're introducing On Demand, our new interactive notebook service. On Demand is available right now, so some researchers are already using it. On Demand apps that are currently released include Jupyter and RStudio, but with a roadmap that'll bring in things like MATLAB, Code Server, and many other apps. one of the wonderful things with On Demand is that you can enrich the apps with full content. And so we're now using a similar environment for training. And we'll have apps in there that give you sort of templates and scaffolds and guidance for machine learning and deep learning, doing bioinformatics analyses and many other things as well. So that's going to be a really rich and interesting platform for interactive use and through the browser use. For those needing the best performance, we have landed the latest computing technology into our high-performance computing platform. So our upgraded HPC brings more power, it's faster, it's more scalable. It has a richness of computing types and nodes to support different types of research. It's much more energy efficient, but we're also recycling some of the current generations of technology where we get a great level of utility and value to provide continued support. So you can see that integration there in the top right in terms of the computing environment and the advanced networking we're putting in place. And in terms of availability, we've got the new infrastructure in place at Tamaki, which we're just commissioning at the moment. And so the first platform will be the newest of the nodes, the AMD Genoa nodes. And we'll then move in the Mawika equipment over time as well. Talking to the richness of that platform, we're building up our support for artificial intelligence and including through a rich array of powerful general purpose GPU processors and software tools. And this will allow us to improve our support for advanced AI. It includes adoption of various software environments and will be incorporated into our training programs. And we can see here that there's quite a variety of GPU cards, which really are specialized for different types of workloads. They actually work very well for some of our traditional simulation and modeling HPC use cases, but also we're able to support a range of artificial intelligence and data analysis cases as well, so whether it's training or inference or high throughput. And there are specialized types of nodes in there that are better for visualization, for example. So we're really looking forward to seeing what you all can do with that new capability in the platform. We're modernizing the data storage stack. Many of us have worked with the classic HPC storage platform, IBM GPFS, for a decade or two or three. While it was a combo of trailblazing performance and workhorse reliability for a long time, high performance has become a prime time concern for teams well beyond HPC. So we've looked broadly and have landed with a new platform, Weka, that offers advances in performance and cost. It allows for high performance, it allows for high security, while also being able to tier out and make use of cheaper cloud storage, object storage that we have in our platform. So we're currently commissioning this piece of the puzzle. This is the keystone. This is where data lives in NeSI, and all of our services operate on that shared data infrastructure. So we're just doing final commissioning at the moment. We're aiming to initiate some data migrations before Christmas and get those moving. We've got petabytes of data to move. It's going to take some time. And integration with the previously mentioned on-demand and HPC services planned for early Q1. We're also taking a fresh look at how to support managing research data for the longer term. We're replacing the tape-back to nearline service, which never really got out of early access. We really just could not nail that service. And so we've taken a really fresh look at it. We're replacing it with a scalable and easy to use Glacier-like service. So we're introducing Freezer. So Freezer is tape-backed for cost-effective scalable data retention. It's compatible with common cloud tools used for things like accessing AWS's S3 service. It's a scalable platform that we can extend over the long term, even to the degree of having dedicated spaces for research institutions or teams. Data movement is underway, and more generally, freezer allocations will be available to all users early in Q1. Meanwhile, supporting research software engineers to help build the next generation of workflows and platforms is really key. As George said up front, we're a community of builders. We come from research. So we're making available to researchers all the tools and platforms we've been using ourselves to build our own platform and the platforms of others. So where we look at on-demand or other environments like the Taonga species genomic data repository, or the Rakiora platform for precision genomic medical research. We want to make these tool chains and environments available for others to craft the same sorts of research-focused specialized tools. So this is Research Developer Cloud. We launched Research Developer Cloud about a year ago, and it's been in early access with a range of early use cases around it. So it's adjacent to our new HPC, offering really interesting possibilities to integrate across both for different workload needs. We will share example code pipelines. We can provide developer support, and we're already partnering with teams, research teams and institutions to build up practice, in particular around adopting the modern sort of DevOps as code approaches for repeatable, reusable solutions. So Research Developer Cloud is available now. Feel free to reach out and get started if that's of interest to you. So there's a range of new things coming, a range of changes on the horizon. And so naturally, for the researchers among you, and for those supporting researchers, the question is, what does the migration look like? It's not going to be a hard shut-off. We are looking at consistent user experiences. We're looking at minimizing downtime. So we've really sort of challenged ourselves to try and deliver a set of services that'll give you consistency and an intuitive sense of how to carry on the conduct of your research. In terms of timing, we already have on-demand starting to be used, and we're looking at early access to Freezer and HPC in early Q1. On migrations, we work very closely with researchers. So, we tend to coordinate via email, service desk calls, etc. And so though this isn't a discussion around all of the details of those changes, that'll come early in the new year as we set up different opportunities for researchers to drop into our office hours or attend additional webinars or jump on a call with us. So some of the things though that you can do if you're a researcher or supporting researchers, you can actually help be ready. We already had across the course of this year people testing codes on the Mahuika Milan HPC nodes, and that's really to test the compatibility of their codes to make sure there's no surprises as they adopt that platform, because that's a very much like-for-like platform with the Genoa platform that's going to be the starting point for HPC at Tamaki. Please, everyone is very aware these days of how challenging it is to manage their data. So anything you can do around tidying up your data in advance. The less data, when we're dealing with petabytes, the less data we need to move, the better. We'll be moving across, for the HPC users among you, your core sort of home and project folders. We won't by default be moving across your Scratch or no backup working spaces. So reach out and we'll give some advice around how we can manage that. And we will schedule those webinars early in the new year. We do provide great support, if I do say so, that the people here from the research support team, and I think the researchers among you will know from your own experiences, they're brilliant. So they're the same friendly people. They're there to help on the way through. They're also sitting alongside colleagues that have been building this platform. And obviously, as we're going into a new data center and looking at the environment there, there's been a lot of work done to get to this point. And it's right down at the level of cooling infrastructure and chillers and power and racks and pods, etc. So all the hardware started arriving earlier in the year, and it's all been racked and stacked and commissioned and connected and all those sorts of things. And we are now in the final stages of some of the commissioning work. And I just want to say a huge ngā mihi nui to the people involved, not just within our team, but also with our partners. And it's been a really wonderful outcome to reach this point as we head towards the end of the year. And of course, all of this signals a big change in what we can do together, whether it's within our partnerships, whether it's the culture and practices that we have, the expertise that we can share, and the platforms that we can build. So through this investment, we're going to have scalability in more directions, traditional high-performance computing and the scaling up of workloads, alongside integration to support a wider range of workflows and pipelines. We're enabling a wider community of research builders, the research software engineers, alongside the users. So there's HPC that's tailored for a broad, inclusive community of use. We've got Research Developer Cloud as a place to collaborate and build, and expertise and experience in a wide range of research needs and technologies. The potential for specialized platforms in particular is really interesting, I think. What we've seen over the last few years with the environment at Tamaki is our ability to deliver on sensitive and sovereign data, both in the taonga species, but also in iwi human genomics for people in place. We've got small scale innovations, such as hosting sort of AI intensive GPUs, but we've also got custom design of platforms that scale up to meet institutional needs, including the most advanced of those, which is AgResearch's e-research infrastructure, e-research platform. Their whole enterprise e-research platform is a managed service hosted in this environment. So we're really feeling very confident about the scalability and the flexibility of this environment as we come in, and we're looking to share that with you all. Ka mihi nui to you all. I'm going to hand over at this point to Nisha.
Thank you, Nick, for providing an insight into what users can expect from the platform refresh. We'll now move on to the questions on Google Doc. Thank you to everyone who's taken the time to note these down. What is your future plan in terms of evolution of the offering, infrastructure and services compared to what you have been offering so far? Nick, do you want to take this one?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think I hinted at the end that there's a lot of potential here, and really the focus for us has been on the enabling element of this reset of and refresh of the infrastructure. So we've been pretty laser focused on delivering the value from the investment that we've made over the course of this year. There's naturally all sorts of use cases that motivated that investment. One of them is I touched on, and it was really the adjacent high performance computing alongside cloud-like infrastructure. We've had this in some respects in very small ways historically, and currently we've had an opportunity to run what we call virtual labs in NeSI, which are sort of very sort of bespoke compute nodes that you can do sort of elaborate things in, but they tend to be very specific to certain software packages that need HPC, but also need some sort of interactive environment or something. Really, the development of the Research Developer Cloud as a platform that's adjacent to the high performance computing opens up a whole range of use cases. And I think we see this most commonly in the sphere of artificial intelligence platforms and tools, where you might well have sitting adjacent to your scalable workloads a need to manage data through pipelines, through a range of tools that have been built up to really transition through the phases of your AI pipelines, for example. And there might be databases, there might be web portals, there might be a range of things that are required to fully articulate that sort of workflow. So that's just one example. And we've got examples like that with some of the communities that we're working on today within the Research Developer Cloud. Another set of examples sit in the area that I alluded to around data sovereignty. We host two significant platforms for sovereign data, data that holds Maori data sovereignty concerns and where kaitiaki is held by hapu and iwi. And that's the Taonga Species Aotearoa Genomic Data Repository, alongside the Rakeora Precision Genomic Medicine for Research platform. So both of those have been built within that environment with a very strong focus on sovereignty of the data and of the infrastructure, and also on cybersecurity. And so, that's those are early exemplars, I guess, of what could be an environment that's really tailored and designed to be highly secure and flexible. And as our Chief Information Security Officer, Michael Karish, who's sitting on the call here, will attest, that's no easy feat to get that balance of flexibility and security built into the infrastructure. But we've had a unique opportunity to do that as we go through and do this refresh. And so, that's just another example of what might be possible in that environment. I guess the last thing I'd say is it is a scalable environment. And so when you look at all the different dimensions and across those different services, there's options in there for scaling up and scaling out. More of the same to get larger scale, or perhaps even like we've done with the sort of innovative work in the partnership with Ag Research, building really bespoke platforms that enable an entire institution. So different dimensions, different types of scalability, and really we're looking forward to hearing from you all what you might envision is possible, because I think a lot of the innovation is the potential is actually hidden within different research communities. What your aspirations are far better than we do, so we're here to listen. We're keen to kōrero about that sort of opportunity.
Thank you, Nick. Please do note that we've got an FAQ doc linked to the top of the QA doc, and we'll be endeavoring to continuously update that as we progress further with the refresh. So please do keep your eyes on that document as we go. With that, over to you, George, for the wrap-up.
Great, thanks, Nisha. And Nisha's already hinted at this, so don't forget, we'd love to hear from you. So if you come up with some more questions, either general or specific to your project, come and talk to us, send us a support ticket. Office hours are great. We'll be scheduling more sort of migration focused webinars or sessions, depending on what's required early in the new year. So do look out for those. And my final request is now more than ever, please read your emails. That's how we're going to let you know if something specific is about to happen to your project. So do take the time to open up those emails and take a look. All right, I think we can wrap it all up now. Unuhia, unuhia. Unuhia ki te uru tapunui, kia wātea, kia mama, te nako, te tinana, te wairoa, ki te ara tangata. Koea ra e rongo, whakaerihia ake ki runga. Kia tina, tina. Hui e, tai ki e. Thanks, everyone.
Kia ora tātou.